Welcome to J-Rock Concerts, the show. I am your fearless leader, Jamie Rodriguez. Thank you for joining us. For the new subscribers, we are glad that you're here. Please click subscribe. Always helps us a bit, and we're glad to have you in the family on this morning after the Country Music Awards here in Nashville, Tennessee. We were boots on the ground last night, and a special ceremony for the 58th annual CMA Awards in Bridgestone Arena, just a few blocks here from J-Rock Concerts Media HQ. And what a night. What a night it was. Lots of surprises, lots of interesting moments, to say the least, happened last night. And lots of great stuff as well. Great performances, a little bit of everything. We're going to try to go through it here in this kind of recap first. I mean, the first thing that first came to mind as the night started, and I think we can start with this, where the surprises started coming as Chris Stapleton started winning some awards. Um, because, quite frankly, this was not, and I'm checking out my notes here, this was not supposed to be Stapleton's year. And I can say that wholeheartedly. Big winner with 3 awards, Chris Stapleton last night. I think his album was good. I certainly think he's had better, but the CMAs are a very unique ceremony in that, I don't know, the year matters, but I think relationships matter a little bit more. The name that you've built for yourself in the industry matters a little bit more. It kind of, in some ways, that's why you see kind of a carryover from year to year, different from other award shows. So I think that a lot of that has to do with Stapleton winning 3 awards. And Stapleton is a great guy. He's always really nice to us. He's great with everybody, just a great salt of the earth kind of guy. So those things certainly helped a lot. So those were the first few surprises. Second surprise, I think Brooks and Dunn, who, by the way, are tied with Chris Stapleton now for the most winning CMA award winners of all time, each with 19 total wins. But my God, Brooks and Dunn, big winners for the night as well. Let me see what else we have here. Let me talk about the hosts, Luke Bryan, Peyton Manning, and friend of the show, Lainey Wilson. I thought they were great. I think it's very, very established now, kind of like the dynamic between Peyton Manning and Luke Bryan. You know, you got Peyton Manning, kind of like organized, serious guy. Luke Bryan, a little bit of like the disorganized, kind of like goofy guy. And Lainey did a great job kind of like balancing them together. So kudos to our dear Lainey for just killing it that way. I think it's a natural fit for her. Let me talk a little bit more about what else we saw throughout the night. Oh my God, I gotta give props to Charlie Worsham. One of the nicest people that we've met in Nashville. Great guy. Every time we encounter him backstage or at some green room, I mean, talk about an incredible human. And he won Musician of the Year. That was another big surprise. And people loved it. Standing ovation for Charlie. Congratulations, Charlie. Let me talk about actually some of the performances. I thought performances were interesting. They were a little all over the place. There were some, big productions that brought the house down. Like, for example, the Shabuzi, a bar song, Tipsy. That was great. But I thought the quieter moments were very powerful. I think Casey Musgraves, the architect, you could hear a pin drop in the arena. It was just like spine tingling the whole night. And there were other moments, and I love Bailey Zimmerman. Don't get me wrong. Great guy. Every time we encounter him, he's the coolest dude ever. Didn't love his performance. I thought it was a little bit much. There was just too much going on. There were like sparkles, and there were just too many distractions. Let me also talk about other great performances. Some of our friends, Sierra Hall, Bronwyn, Keith Hynes, and Molly Tuttle, they did a great performance with Dirk Bentley. Let me see. Also, our dear friend Lily May, great played violin with Post Malone on one of his performances. And Post Malone, talking of his night, I think a little underwhelming. I think we can say another surprise was the little love that Posty got in regards to awards. I think he got shut out, if I'm not mistaken. So that was surprising because he had an incredible year. But yeah, I mean, didn't expect him to go home empty-handed. And I'm sorry if I'm wrong there. Maybe some of you all will correct me in the comment section. I think he went empty-handed, but either way, it was a light night for Post Malone. Um, Let me see. Album of the year. Um, let me see. Okay, single of the year, White Horse for Chris Stapleton. Album of the year, Cody Johnson. Again, surprising. Um, Really, really, really happy to see Morgan Wallen get Entertainment of the Year, because regardless of what you think of Morgan Wallen is one of the biggest musical artists that we have in today's musical country landscape, period. Like for the past, like now going on half a decade. And the industry resisted for a long time, rightly or wrongly, to give him his flowers. But, at some point, these awards are very important because they're a historical marker. And Morgan Wallen needed to have an Entertainer of the Year in his docket, and now he does. In true interesting fashion, he was not in the arena, so that was an interesting moment. But he got it. I don't know how much he cares about it, but he got it. Vocal Group of the Year, Old Dominion, another great surprise. And like I said, Vocal Duo of the Year, Brooks and Dunn. The legendary Brooks and Dunn, they just kind of keep winning CMA awards. They beat out friends of our show, War and Treaty, and some others. Interesting. That's all I gotta say. I mean, I love Brooks and Dunn just like everybody else. Uh, I don't know how relevant they are in 2024, but again, the CMAs seem to be an interesting kind of breed of an award, showing that they take into account many factors, not just the year in music. Megan Maroney, what can I say about her? The new artist of the year. I think she was a favorite to win that award. It was her or Shabuzi. So not upset that she won. She was one of the first performances of the show. She looked great. The show was great. Her performance was great. Um, and she's a star, Megan Maroney. She's gonna have a long, long career. She just has that it factor. Interesting performers included Simone Biles, Clint Black, Jeff Bridges, a very interesting looking Billy Bob Thornton. Didn't recognize him at first. But it was a very interesting night as well. Other great performances, got to give it up for Teddy Swims. Good to see Teddy Swims. We've been on his train for a long time in our newsletter, as you guys know. So great to see him, even if 3/4 of the arena didn't know who he was. But like, what a voice, Teddy Swims. And Shabuzi, let me just make a quick note about Shabuzi. A little underwhelming night as well for Shabuzi. I think he went 0 for 2 in the big awards. Would have been nice to see him win a big one. But overall, it was a great night. I think country is very cool right now. Country is huge in the world right now, and these awards matter. These awards are a historical landmark. We still to be determined the impact of not nominating Beyonce for this awards, and I think a lot of it is going to have to do with the Grammys. That's like part 2. I think in the Grammys are a big night for Beyonce with her country album. This 58th annual CMA Awards will have like a little bit of an asterisk. Just gotta say it. But still to be determined on that. But overall, we're very proud of all of our friends that performed, all of our friends that were winners. It was great to see the Tiger Lily Gold girls there as well. Shout out to them. And yeah, thank you all for tuning in. And thank you to the Country Music Association for having us as usual. And onwards. Thanks for tuning in.